I just started it, so technically we're live. So I usually give it like a minute to like get up there. Who?
You know H1Z1, like the video game? I don't know if you've heard of it or not.
Uh-uh.
It's like this like multiplayer, it's like a hundred.
All right, there we go. So what's up, guys? So we got Tim.
All right.
Hi, Tim. So
Yeah.
Alex brought up the probably the best question. That's the first one. And Alex, I'll let you say it. I have it on the screen, so go ahead, Alex.
All right. I was gonna say, so before we start, like, what made you like so interested in like our thing in the first place? You know, because we were kind of just winging it when we were just starting, but like having someone like you that's kind of more experienced in trading, like be interested is kind of like it's like eye opening a little bit, you know?
Oh, like the stock talks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're both very accomplished traders. So, like, it's just kind of fun to hear a couple younger, successful dudes talking, and
Doing
you
whatever.
know, whether about be about the market or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so exactly. So when we started this thing, we kind of didn't want it to be like all about the market because like, we're our lives are just so centered around the market 24/7. I mean, at least for me. So like it's kind of nice to just shoot the shit about something else that really isn't the market 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first time I tuned in, and like I was in the car or something, and I think it was like my wife and we had a guest or something, but they had run into a store, so I just like opened it up and started listening, and Cody was talking about like some old awesome penny stocks pumps and stuff like that. It was just like really fun to reminisce.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
because
the
like
good
I
old
have no
days.
idea like anything about that because I started trading, I guess, when all that stuff was coming to an end.
Yeah, yeah. The man, those OTC days back then, like I remember even back when they were still around, being like, "Oh my God, I wish I'd gotten into this like a year or two sooner." And then just like that, it was done. Like all the big promoters got shut down for the most part.
Yeah, it was
How
crazy.
early did like the promoting thing start? Like, was it like always like kind of like big back then, or was it like progressively getting bigger and bigger, and then just slowly start to fade away?
I mean, tell me if you remember it differently, Cody, but like awesome penny stocks was kind of in a world of their own because of the volume they could generate, right?
Yeah, and I think I feel like the first one that I actually kind of like caught on was POTG. Wasn't that right?
I remember watching them a little before that. Like it
Before
was
that?
actually really funny because it was back when I was like first getting started and didn't know a damn thing. And I was just trying to find like good picks. Like that was just kind of the mindset at the
Yeah.
time because I wanted to like make a little money and learn. And I actually did sign up to one of the awesome penny stock websites, like not really knowing what it was or anything like that. But my approach had been more like, oh, I'll just like kind of track them and see if their picks are really good or not. And I think I got in there like right when I can't remember the ticker now. It was like CPMCF or something like that. I think it was like one of their first like really massively successful ones. Like they went from like 5 cents to 80 cents or something like that. But yeah, like they first hit my radar back around then, but I still like had no idea how to trade them till gosh, it probably took a year till I got anywhere close to even making a good trade on one of their plays.
Yeah, that was like late 2010, wasn't it? Because that's kind of when I started getting into it too.
Or maybe yeah,
Because I pulled up
yeah, it would
C
have been like 2010. Yeah.
I pulled up their chart and it's like October 2010, and it went to like 80 cents from like 5 cents.
Yeah, maybe what it was like I looked back at their history, but like yeah, it was like their whatever pick they put out, it was another C ticker, it was like COPW or something like that.
Oh,
I
that's
can't remember for these tickers, but yeah, that was like it was right around that December of 2010 area where I first saw awesome penny stocks.
yeah, it was
How
CPAL.
often? Oh, sorry. Go for it.
Oh, I was gonna say it was CPOW. I remember that one too.
Mm,
I was
and
gonna
that was
say,
when they really blew up and took it to another level, and those were kind of the level of promos that I don't think anyone had ever really seen before. And that was also around the time of like LEXG and JMN. It wasn't them, but it was like some of the really successful mailers that also had really good volume and ridiculous runs.
Yeah, I remember both of those. Those were absolutely insane. I remember the bounce on Jammin', and I didn't really know Nate a whole lot, but I just remember the one day it bounced from like I think it was like $3 to $1, and he nailed it right at the bottom. I'm like, how's he do that? Like I want to do
Yeah, I had
that.
no idea. And that was kind of like where the emotion of like, oh, I wish I'd gotten into this like just a year sooner came from because like looking back at those opportunities, at the time I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't take advantage of them at all. But like, man, I wish I had another shot at those.
Oh man, that would be a dream to just go back like 4 years, get all
I
these
know.
again.
I've got this distinct memory of trying to trade LEXG in the middle of class on my phone, and I was trying to buy a bounce, which at the time I had no idea how dangerous that was. But like even being in class cell phone trading, I was like shaking and like could barely press the buttons. It was
I think we've all had
not a
those
comfortable
moments.
trade.
That's great. But yeah, I think what the appeal of what I don't know because I was talking to Alex, I was like, we should just do a live stream and like pretend like we're just talking on the phone. I think that's what the big appeal of this was just I don't know, it's just two guys talking, having fun, doing
Oh
whatever.
yeah, I mean it's really fun to talk to other traders and just kind of hear their stories, hear what they've been doing. Like it's just it's kind of like Nate says, like have a trading buddy. Like
Yeah,
it's
Yeah,
just
definitely.
cool to have that interaction.
something to do
Definitely.
because I hung out with Tyler this weekend and a bunch of guys from New Hampshire. That was a riot playing golf with those guys.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
The weather was pretty nice. It was like 94, something like that. Perfect. Did you golf?
Do you play golf too?
Yeah, I was going to ask you
I've
that.
never learned to golf. No, I keep meaning to because I'd love to go to one of the Trader for a Cause golf outings. But like right now, I probably couldn't even swing a club.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
you
the
just
same
got to
way.
do it. Got to do it. Just go to a driving range, grab a club, and just hit the ball. Because
Yeah, I
I
mean,
only been
as long
playing
as I
for.
can drive, that's probably enough, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you could drive. No, I think it's if you can hit the ball straight, that's all you really need to do. It doesn't even matter how
Yeah.
far you hit it. Because if you can hit it like 100 yards just straight every time, you'll crush people.
Yeah, I need to get out and learn. Like I tried to learn it back when I played baseball, and I just could not distinguish between the two swings.
I played
It's a good
baseball
one.
for.
Yeah, so
Yeah, go ahead,
instead of
Alex.
golfing, I traded for a cause. Like since that's not something I'm into, like I'm a big car nerd, like a car geek. So I went and I raced cars then instead. And if I was gonna do it again next year, I'd rather, since I did the car racing last year, I'd rather learn to golf and then do that this year instead. So that's gonna be something I'm trying to work on.
Yeah, I did the car driving once, out in San Diego actually. That was an awesome time. That was the Center Point guys. did that for some of their top clients.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. I can't remember what they had. I think they had like a Lambo and a Ferrari, and then I can't remember the other one. It's maybe a I don't know. I can't remember now. But yeah, that I've heard that's awesome in Vegas too.
Oh my God, it's crazy. I asked for literally the fastest cars they had, and they literally put you in like a race car, with, like a fire extinguisher inside, no rear seats, a cage, like buttons that you push to like turn on the motor and stuff. It was great.
Oh, that's like even another notch up then.
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous, but it's worth it.
It's crazy.
I was gonna ask also before, since we were talking about Austin penny stocks, like how often did they have like a pick? Was it like an every week type of thing, or was it like
I think they
once
lasted.
in the moon?
It lasted like what, month, 2 months? It varied, I think.
For a while in 2011 or 2012, maybe it seemed like they were putting them out every 2 or 3 weeks, but then it started to be longer waits. And yeah, it would be like a month to 2 months.
And did you have to like pay for a subscription to Austin penny stocks, or was it like a free something? Is that how they got all the volume?
Free.
It was free for most of the time. Towards the end of their life, they started this website where it was like get the pick ahead of the crowd kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like $100.
I want to say like they probably only did like 5 picks like that, but maybe only 2 out of the 5 were like actually worth having the subscription.
And what about the borrows when they finally came down?
I don't
was it
think
like something that was.
I don't remember ever there being a borrow in any of those. Right? Like almost impossible. I felt like.
Yeah, I don't remember shorting too many, honestly. Like I would really just try to nail the bounces because their bounces are so good.
Yeah.
I would play them on announcement. I would try to play their multi-day breakouts, and I think the third setup I really tried to learn was their bounces, just because it was such smooth, perfect level 2.
Yeah,
it's like
that's
Fannie
interesting.
Mae.
It was so liquid too that you could really do anything you wanted.
Yeah, you could play massive size. I mean, the day of a pick, like you could know a pick was coming, but not know what it was. And like if you're just scanning the OTC market pre-market, you'd like suddenly see this random ticker pop up with all this pre-market volume, and you know there's only one thing it could be.
Kind of assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's freaking crazy. Like how the times have changed now. That like we're waiting for like the next black swan to happen, so that all the little floats can get excited again. And oh my God.
Yeah, I mean it was something else. It was almost like free money to an extent, and I always took the approach where I was buying them day one, I was selling them day one. Like I almost never held beyond that. And there'd be the ones where I like bought at 20 cents, sold at 30 or 40 cents, and then like weeks later it'd be at $2, and I'd be like kind of wishing I had all my size back. But then there were the other ones.
That didn't do so well.
What was one of them? Like RARS? Was that one of the bad ones?
Yeah, I was gonna say RARS was like one of the ones that was one of the only ones I was like, oh, I'm gonna hold this over, and that was the one that
they had some that were just like straight up destruction. Like they'd spike for an hour, and then by the end of the day they were minus like 70%.
Yeah, VLNX I think was the end, right? Or VN, I think it was VLNX.
I think so. Yeah, that's one of the last ones I remember.
Where I think they sold off their list to some other guys, and then they posted it or something like that. Or that's what I thought. Yeah.
That was such a bloody one. That was ridiculous.
Kind of makes you wonder, like how I would have been, like how I would have like adjusted as a trader, like coming from like the OTC days, because like most people kind of like if they don't learn to adapt and I guess trade Nasdaq now, they can't survive at all, or there's just much less opportunity.
Yeah, I get that question a lot. Like, how would I start now without that like OTC promo to fall back on? Because that was really such a big part of giving me like the explosive gains in my account. I'd grind it out for a couple weeks, and then the next pick would come along, and I'd just like throw almost everything I had at it and just scalp out of it, within an hour. And usually it would be like at least a $5,000 gain, which for my small account.
It's huge.
Really, really meaningful.
Yeah.
And it adds up too. If you're making $5,000 a day, or even $5,000 every other day, like shit.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, like I had some of my I think I remember being up about 10K like really early in my career, and it was like April of 2012, and I'm trying to remember who was the promoter who like the Bull Exchange. I think it was them. That's what they were called. They like stole the Austin penny stock list or something and kind of became a
Oh, that one is.
moderately successful promoter for a while there.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I might
but
have
I
been thinking
remember, I
about that.
remember grabbing one of theirs and like doubling my account one day in April. Like it was like I had like a $12,000 position and made 10 grand on it in like 10 minutes.
Wow.
And then they had that
Do you
random
remember like, what
Nasdaq
that
one.
felt like back
That
in
was
the day?
weird.
I mean, I remember the first big win I had was on an awesome penny stocks one. It was like a $2,700 win or something like that. And at that point, like I had just grinded my account back to break even, like making $50 to $100 a trade. And so I remember that one. I was like jumping around my apartment, like whooping it up. Like I was really excited.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad now because I'll have like a 10K trade and I won't feel even a fraction of that excitement.
Yeah, it's crazy. Or you have like
Some
a
perspective changes. It's kind of cool, but it's also like sort of sad.
yeah, exactly. Let's say you back in the day you lost $500 and like you wouldn't eat, you wouldn't go out of the house, you wouldn't do anything. Now if you lose like $5,000, you're like, I fucked up, like, but I know what I did wrong, and like you kind of get over it. And you learn to like avoid that mistake.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, but there's still like I mean that can be bad too though because I was one of the people who got kind of squeezed like crazy on drives back in November when it went to 100, and even then I kept on like justifying staying in the trade because it was like, oh well, I just have really small size, it doesn't matter, or oh, I'm not down that much compared to like some of my biggest losses that had happened.
Yeah.
Like if you get a little too comfortable with big losses, you can take a lot of medium ones that you really don't need to.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that big one comes along, and you're just like, how the hell did I let it go this long?
Yeah, I had $2,500 or 2,500 shares at like $15, and then boxed it up till 75 or something.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
That's a rough week.
Yeah, that was a rough week. I was pretty pissed.
Yeah, and then you have it after that happens, and like you're emotionally spent. When the real backside comes, like you don't think clearly. I think that's the problem like a lot of people have is that like they could take a loss, that's fine, but they let that loss get to their head so much to the point that when the stock is finally reversing, when that golden opportunity is finally there, they just scalp it instead of sizing in like they would normally if they didn't have that loss earlier.
Yeah, that's always happened to me throughout my career or two. Is I'll take the big loser fighting the front side, and then when the backside finally is in there, I play like a tenth of the size.
Yeah,
and I've gotten a little bit better at that each time. Like the dries losses were over 100K by the time all was said and done in November, and I managed to keep it together enough to like be back to break even by the end of the week because all the shippers just got destroyed. But normally in the past I would have only made back a fraction.
Yeah.
You saw Phil's post, right? On his dries trade?
What was that question?
You saw Phil's post?
Oh yeah, I saw what Phil had to say. I mean, Phil's in another world though. He's an amazing trader.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think he's one of the best for sure.
Oh yeah.
Crazy.
He was in trouble on that one, but for the most part, he's so good at cutting.
Yeah, like that's one of his best things. I think I was talking to him in Vegas, and he's just like, if I'm wrong, like if I would take a position and I'm wrong immediately, I cut it off, no questions asked. He's like, I like to get into a trade and be green immediately because that's how I know that I'm in at the right time in the right place. If not, I'm cutting it out and I'm just waiting. And it's just like, holy shit, he has that amount of discipline to just immediately cut it when he knows that it's not working, and that's why he's so successful.
Yeah, I think the thing that gets in the way for me the most is I just get a little FOMO going. Like I don't want to get tricked out.
Yeah,
and I always forget I can get my shares right back.
Yeah, that's the worst problem I have, and like I'm still struggling with that. I don't know how to improve on that, and I'm sure a lot of other people struggle with that too. And I guess my whole VWAP thing, like use size on their VWAP, and sure, it's like on the outside it sounds right and it does work, but like sometimes you do get that FOMO where you're just like, oh my god, it's like such a perfect opportunity. I have to take a starter, and then starter turns into a quarter, and then half size, and then 3/4.
My plan outside of my risk, I'm not adding. So that at least helped me like only add to winners a lot more, but I got really sloppy with that, like in September, October, and beyond. And that's part of why dries happened to me. And I also Cody, were you trading BTUUQ?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one got me too. I lost 65,000 on it, and then 2 days later made it back. But it was just I think I netted out scratch on it. It felt like such a wasted opportunity.
Oh, I blew that trade bad. Oh God, I was long. I think at one point like 26,000 at a buck 80
Whoa.
average, and I cut it all at like 2 and 3. Then I watched it go to 18, but then I started short. I think I was shorting in that second crack day. It's like 15, 14, somewhere in there. But it ended up being a pretty nice trade overall because I was short overnight. God, what was it? The day it went from 11 to 7.
Gotta pull up chart. I'm already forgetting.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. It was.
But I was like, this thing just is steamrolling everybody every day. I'm just gonna wait for a red candle.
Yeah, like I remember trying to play like 10,000 shares on it when it was like in the $10 area or $11 area, and I just got totally stuck. Like I usually am pretty good at like being able to find my way out of these OTCs that aren't too liquid, but like that one got me. And
It's like you could pile in on the short side, but as soon as you do and it reverses, you can't get out. It's one of
yeah,
those. It was just so tricky because I tried it a few times in the 7s and 8s, and I was like, I'm waiting for this thing to blow 20. So, but it was definitely
What did it hit? What did it hit? How high did it go?
19 something.
like 19 or so.
Yeah, 1880 or something like that. It was crazy. But that's these OTCs, man. They can make some crazy moves if you don't expect it. Like Fannie Mae,
now,
like
the nice thing is, we talked about the promoters being dead, but all the marijuana stocks, like OTC has been pretty crazy the past couple months.
oh yeah, totally.
I think like to answer the kind of question I asked earlier, like if I were to start again now, I think I still would be like pretty much focused on like OTC breakouts and like buying those.
Yeah, I think
Because I'm still so much more comfortable long in OTC than in Nasdaq.
I know, isn't that weird? I'm the same.
So,
I'm the
yeah, it's so
same way,
strange.
100%. I will all long an OTC overnight, 10 times more likely than a Nasdaq. Just,
Wow, that's crazy.
I think it's just because it's how we learned and how we got good. So I just think we're comfortable with it.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's like I've got to track it or something because like if I'm taking a Nasdaq long overnight, I feel like it's 50-50. But
Yeah.
with an OTC, I'm like, oh, 80% chance it gaps up. Like,
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Like yes, got it.
yeah, look, that happened to me last week with it bit me last week with ICLD. I think it was. I was playing it for the gapper the day that it died. And I just got caught. Like I couldn't get out. I was playing it in E-Trade because I just went back to E-Trade in the last month or so, and I thought I had heard that they were decent with OTC fills. So
Yeah.
it gaps up, it gets heavy. I start like I put in a limit sell order like a good penny below the previous closing price, and just nothing filled at all. I had to ride that one down, but
that was the 10-cent gap day almost, wasn't it?
yeah, like went from 10 cents down to 5 cents or something. And
Yeah.
I was in from maybe 8.5, something like that.
Like
So,
that was
a
brutal.
little bit of a ride with that one, but I got some on the bounce and then sold it all out. So I made the loss smaller at least.
That's not bad. I had a bunch of that, but I was like, I don't want to have a bunch left while I'm on it because I was going on vacation like that day, so I closed everything out. Like, it's like I don't want to think about it. I'm not gonna do the internet, and I come back and it's like 10 cents. I'm like, well, shit. So I think I had at one point 500,000 shares, like 014 or something like that.
Jeez, yeah. Man, I remember when I had like 500,000 shares of OWCP back at like 5 cents or something.
Don't remind me of that one. Oh man, that's so brutal. Just
Those are the ones that
unbelievable.
like teach the OTC players though, like buy and hold works. And then
Unbelievable.
90% of the time it doesn't.
Well, I think I mentioned on the last one, but when we were in Vegas, somebody mentioned to me, and I wish I knew who it was. They're like, yeah, APS has ties with somebody who's doing OWCP, and I didn't think about it at the time because I had closed it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to Vegas, and I should have remembered that and just piled into it on any of these breakouts, like at 10 cents. What a perfect chart that it had at that point too.
Yeah. They've still got a few guys with ties to APS floating around out there, don't they?
Yeah. Well, I think I posted it about what was the one? PTCO. Somebody just got SEC'd on that one
Oh, really?
for pumping up on it. Yeah, some guy in like I think Florida or something like that. But that was a sweet one for
Wow.
me. I mean, that was a nice day from 550 to $2.
You know, I don't know why I don't remember this one. Like I'm looking at this chart and I can't remember. Like I'm pretty sure I didn't trade it. I have no idea why.
Oh, there were a ton of them. Like I kept bugging Nate. I'm like, Nate, you gotta like look at all these charts. Like keep sending me every day. Like just look at them. Because I was long day one at like 32 cents of that same one, but I'm like, oh, I don't know what it is, because no promoters have been really happening. So I was like, oh, I'm taking a big risk, buying this
Are
random thing.
they still sending out hard mailers on things like this, or is it just at this point the market makers and whoever's behind it just try to trap shorts, and that's the new game?
Some of them, but I think that's the new game. Like, look at EMMD.
Yeah, I've been watching that.
Like, I think that they just seriously trapped somebody big under a buck, because like there's no volume, but somebody's just getting
Yeah.
squeezed out slowly on it.
Drops 260 down to what, 75 cents? You kind of assume it's finished.
Yeah, like 50 cents. So I'm sure somebody probably piled in, I don't know, that bounce day, and they've been stuck since. Because I mean, there's been
getting slowly squeezed out now.
yeah, it's because it's only like 100,000 volume in a day. I mean, it's not that bad as where it was, but I mean,
It's been restricted for me. Have you been able to find shares?
nope. I look every day.
What is it?
Yeah, I'm crossing my
EMD?
fingers that it frees up.
Yeah, at least at some point. EMDD,
Yep,
Alex.
definitely blocked.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, every day I ask every day, I'm like, today? Nope. Because the last borrow I got on it was on the 14th. They had shares on the 14th, but
Okay, right before it started squeezing more.
yeah, because I got squeezed out that day a little bit, but it wasn't that bad. But usually, like if I know that I don't have it, like that specific day, like it's not happening, I'll just be like, all right. I mean, I don't want to. These things will do this, so I don't want to pile into it, and then I'll be short, insane amount with it just doing, going to 5. So I just take it off and wait.
Yeah, I don't do it with the other liquid ones. Way back in the day when there were some of those like D-list promoters who like could cause really like really good 1 or 2 day spikes, and they would usually just completely fall apart. And there were times I'd just like shorten to those and not really care and just keep on adding the whole way up. But can't do it with these.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I mean, there's a lot of opportunity in these things because there's not as many as there was even like a month and a half ago. But they're always
Yeah,
popping
slowed
up.
down. The last couple of weeks, it seems like it slowed down a bit.
Yeah, it feels like the whole market. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's what I'm trading because I know Nate's killing it, but I know we just
Yeah,
trade
it's
different
been
stuff.
hard.
So OTC has slowed down a little bit the last 2 weeks from what I've noticed.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Like everything feels just like a little bit slow. Like I was telling Cody, like before we started this thing, that like there's been like since dries, there hasn't really been like any like squeezing stocks. Like there hasn't been really like any day 2 or day 3 move stocks anymore, and like it just has me thinking like the next stock that's probably easy to borrow on like a lot of radars is probably gonna catch some steam soon. So it's just something that I keep thinking like in the back of my head, like it's just been too long since something crazy happened, and everyone's kind of waiting for it, I feel like.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping it would be PULM today because that was a surprising gap this morning. I
I thought the
didn't
gap
expect
was a gift, but
Yeah, like I thought it was going to squeeze up to like 5 and 550 though.
yeah, I was ready for 5s, honestly. And then you see like the 450s kind of soaking, and you're just like, I gotta take some start. But then you think like they have an ATM as well that's like already there. So like it's just
Yeah, so
I
they probably started.
yeah, they probably start tapping it, but I just want that one thing to happen that ideally I'm not stuck in like I usually would be, and then usually the next week after, the next 2 weeks, you just have these amazing opportunities on the short side that come up because everyone's looking for that next big winner, and usually those are even shittier than the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. The sympathy ones are always a bit weaker, and the lower hanging fruit.
Exactly.
Still, one of my favorite plays though is like to trade the sympathy names. Like when Dries was going, I didn't even think to look at other shippers. Strangely enough, to like they were spiking like 26.
Yeah, I remember I was short SINO like before it went crazy. I think I was short at like $1.90, and I covered at $1.60, and then I got stuck on the rest, and I covered at $2.30. And then the next day it's at like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The day after it's
14.
at 14.
Yeah,
And
like thank God you didn't keep that tiny piece, thinking like, oh, it
yeah,
doesn't matter.
exactly. Like let's say I held it and I, for whatever reason, was stubborn for whatever. Like it would have been a gigantic loss, like massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
And
never think about that when it's the tiny size. Like you just think like, oh well, maybe it'll go to like 2 or 3, and then suddenly it's at 15, and you're wondering what the hell happened.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said on dries, you didn't start boxing until 75. Like, who the hell thought it was going to go to 75?
I know.
Like
Oh,
that.
and then like that was totally restricted after the halt, right? Like I don't.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, don't quote me on this, but maybe ICBC might have had it, or if you
Right.
boxed from like the day, I don't know. But it was almost impossible that day. I think what did it do? It unhalted at 50 and then went to 24, and then even went even lower.
Yeah, that was, man, that was just crazy. I haven't seen anything like that.
Yeah. I think that KBIO one was one of the wildest ones. I was actually short. Like, I don't know why, but I was short huge because I don't know. Whenever I see, you know, Greg post something and I'm already in it, it gives me that extra like, oh yeah, okay, you know, Greg's doing it. Because I was short,
Yeah.
God, I think 20 or 30,000 of KBIO the day it did its thing, but I had a dentist appointment. I'm like, I don't want to hold on to this while I'm sitting in the dentist office. If some, because it was like, oh, it's a Nasdaq. It could something could happen after hours, but I don't know. I just done a webinar where I said I don't like holding stuff overnight. So fortunately enough, you know, take it off. I get out of the dentist and it's like 15. I'm like, what? I thought I was losing my mind.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, go for it, Tim. What were you saying?
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, I was watching it, and I almost bought it before it closed that day. Because I was watching it like build up, and I was like, man, like I know everybody's short this thing, and it's not breaking down.
Yeah.
And I told myself like, no, I'll just wait for the breakout. And then they announced that after hours. And,
Boom.
I mean, what within like 5 minutes, it was like it's $5.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was like $4.
And then I almost shorted it at 5. So you know, I didn't push any buttons, but you know, I'll take it.
I remember it was on SSR and it was completely illiquid towards like after hours. So like when all these like big shorts were trying to cover, they were just ripping each other apart.
Yeah, they had nothing. They had nothing else that they could do at that point. I mean,
how do you have the liquidity to exit on a stock like that when you're, let's say you have like 30,000, 40,000 shares, and it's on SSR. So like let's say you buy it on the offer at $4, the next offer is like $4.50, and then like $4.75 because like everyone's just trying to get out, and it was crazy.
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah, go.
In a lot of ways, I like, even though it only went to like 22 or something after hours that day, like that still I think is a much more dangerous short squeeze than Dries was.
Yeah, it was just so fast, and there were so many. Because what did he buy? He bought like more than half the float, didn't he? Or the whole float?
Yeah, half I think. Yeah.
It was like 500,000. What was that? I don't remember. Something was so tiny. Anyway.
Yeah, it was only like I felt like it was only like 2 million shares at that point.
It was like 2 million shares outstanding, and he bought 1 million or so.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And at that point, when everybody realizes it, they're like, oh.
Push it more. Like I remember, was it in the 14s or the 20s or something? I don't remember what it hit, but he was like buying like 1,000 more shares at like $14, and then the filing came out. And everyone's like, buy, and then like, you know, you have a week later.
They got that like secondary push where the next few days it got up at 50.
Yeah, that was insane.
Oh my God.
But then it was there was one right before that,
AQXB. Yeah, I was short that day. I was short at I think like $3, and I ended up covering at like 280 or 295, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm not gonna. Whatever, something about it is like holding up. I don't want to touch it anymore. And then it went to like 3, 4, 5, and then at 7, I remember seeing it and saying like, you know, maybe I should short it now. And then I'm like, you know, like I've been down this road before. You know, I'll just wait a day. And then like I kind of took like the morning off, and then I come back to see it's even higher. I'm just like, holy shit.
Yeah,
I remember that one really well because I fought it all day on day one, and like I get down towards the end of day one, and it's like closing up near $10 or $11, and I had just a few thousand shares left. I decided like, okay, I'm just gonna get out and take a small loss on the day, and then it opened up at 20 the next day. Like,
they had the Baker Bros took like a stake in it, and then it just ripped. It ripped
like 20
hard.
50 or something really fast.
Yeah. The next couple months, anything that they bought, I felt like it was moving too. Like any Baker Brothers filings. People were all over. Yeah. And Icon had that too in like 2014. Anything Icon bought, everyone.
What was his BLTC?
Yeah.
BLTC.
Alex
Yeah.
likes that one.
Oh yeah, I was so pissed. I still have like a little. I'm always gonna be angry about that one.
What
Yeah.
happened to you on that?
I remember. I think it was.
It was like a bounce
Was it,
day. It was August.
Yeah, it was that one big squeeze day. Let me see if I
August-
can find it on my chart. But,
August 10th of 2015,
Yeah, let me see if I can find it.
where you
I
covered
remember I
like
was so ready. I was so
13th,
prepared.
13:30
It
or something.
was-
Oh, they're in OTC now.
Yeah,
No.
they are. They got delisted.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
I think it was 8:10. Was that the one, Cody?
8:10. Yep.
Yeah, that was the day. So I said, okay, this is like a pattern I really like. So anytime like a stock like this usually gaps up, they usually sell off. Like 9 out of 10 times they'll sell off because there's too many bag holders, there's whatever. So I was using, I guess, the previous resistance at like 13 as a guide or whatever it was, or the previous couple months resistance at 1050. So I remember shorting at the open, and it was going down. It went perfectly. Everything was going great. I was up like 10 grand or like 15 grand in like half an hour. And I was like, cool, like this is great. Like it went according to my plan. I was prepared, whatever. And then for whatever reason, NASDAQ Cowboy tweeted that he was buying, and then a rush of volume. I guess crazy. It just like it went apeshit. It went from like 10 to 12, halted, opened up at like 13. So whereas I was short at like 9 or 10 or whatever it was, and I was up, you have this rush of volume. Everyone's randomly talking about it. It halts up. NASDAQ Cowboy makes, I think it was 120 grand on that trade, and then I lost 30 grand.
Oh
I
my
just got
god.
squeezed so quickly I could not exit because the stock was halting. And
Yeah, I
was
I
like, oh.
vaguely remember this day you're talking about. Yeah, I think I rode through that. I'm pretty sure I was short too and really confused and pissed off. But
Yeah, I was furious.
Alex,
And then,
you are
I
furious,
think,
Alex.
I think you were short because I think we talked about it. They had that one
Oh, yeah?
push that went towards end of day, and there was a push into high day, and then it stopped down. I think we both exited there or something, and then the stock continued to collapse the rest of the day after that high of the day rejection.
yeah, I've got the chart up now. It looks like it closed down at like near lows of the day.
Yeah, exactly. After that whole rush of volume, the halt up, it pushed again its new high days, faked all the shorts out, and then collapsed, absolutely collapsed towards the end of the day. And I had like a thing on my account that says like if you lose more than like 20 grand on the day, like it locks me out. So I couldn't short. I was so pissed just watching it go down and down and down, not being able to attack, and still drives me crazy.
You crushed something the next day after that, though, Alex. I remember that. Right? It's like a day or 2 days later. But you
I
were
feel
like,
2015 was a tough year for those. Like I feel like I got caught in a lot like that, like where I'd have a good morning short where I'm up nicely on it, and then it rips back through high a day, stops me out, and then fades off the rest of the day.
Yeah, it just like it stops us out, and then boom, as soon as we're out, fades.
Like I can think of 3 or 4 $20,000 to $30,000 losses I took in 2015 like that, and it was just so frustrating.
Drives me
That's the worst as a
crazy.
trader.
what were you saying, Alex?
I don't remember, what was I saying?
I don't know. You just said something about
Caught in
drives.
the moment of just being so pissed. I still feel my pain like to this day of just how excited I was. Like I made like whatever it was, 10, 14, 10, 13,000, whatever it was. Like I just made so much money so quickly, and like before I was able to like kind of realize what the hell was going on, the stock halted up, and I was
like, oh.
If it's ever an OTC runner, you've got to join us on it.
Yeah, we're gonna bug you next time. They're worth it though. I mean, like that's how I built my account. I think that's what you did too, Tim. Like it's just OTCs. It's just I don't know. They're easier to read in this weird way where it's like you're so much more comfortable holding on to it because I don't know. Maybe you can explain it.
I feel like I get a lot more help from the level 2.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I was just
also
gonna say,
it's just like so much more technically perfect. Like there's so many fake outs in NASDAQ compared to this.
Yeah. I guess I would totally agree. I mean, like that ODDSTOCK chart, it does it like 3 times where it's just a perfect setup and it doesn't fake anybody out on any day, and you can just hold on to it unless you sell it within an hour.
Like something like MBRX today, where it like has that 3 o'clock high day break attempt. Like if that's an OTC, I'm buying it without a second thought. But like I was paranoid about this one and just stayed away.
I did it.
And then complete stuff and gets sold off into close.
Yep. That was me right there at 151.
Yeah, I feel like all these Nasdaqs have like all this like the premature breakouts, and it's just such like a strong setup now that like if you buy like anything before like 330 or like even 340, it usually just come right back down. So I guess maybe that's why like OTCs are like a little bit different because you have like that power to read the tape a little bit clearer because there's no like really I guess what's the word I'm looking for? There's no other like distractions, I guess.
I think that's probably true. I mean, that's why it's so like those Fannie Mae days. Those are just gifts. I mean, because you can see it coming like 30 seconds away. You're like, buy it now. Like on
Yeah,
those
you see that little
bounces.
thing start turning, and you just pounce.
Yeah, you just hit the button, and that's really all you got to do. And then you just sit there and wait if you have patience. Unlike I do most of the time on those, but I was just
Yeah,
so
I only am capable of patience if it's like really, really liquid.
yeah,
But if I feel like it's the slightest chance I'm gonna get stuck, I'm usually out way too early.
yeah. But like the weird thing with MBRX, like I bought it immediately, almost out right out of the open, because I from Finviz their floats only or show it says is like 9 million. So the fact that it just did what it did today and it churned the float twice, that was really weird to me.
Well, you know what it was with them. They did an offering, I think, back in February,
Yeah.
where they issued like 3.5 million shares and then something like 7 million warrants that were convertible at 135 and 150. I'm guessing some of that got converted today.
Yeah, that's probably what it was then.
That's probably what, kind of led to the stuff ultimately.
Yeah.
But it's nice. It's like again with OTCs, I feel like I don't even have to worry about that stuff.
No.
Like you see so much more financing stuff with the Nasdaqs because nobody wants to do it with OTCs because there's no liquidity for them to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just wild. I love OTC.
You have something like Dry's, a $2 billion shelf.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Are you freaking kidding me?
I mean, what do you think? They sell it down for 6 months first and then do like a big reverse split and pump it again?
Yeah, that's what I thought. But
Probably.
they need the effect filing first. I don't know if they did that yet, but
Yeah, they could do that at any time. I mean,
yeah, it could be any time. It could be a month, 2 months, whatever it is. But yeah, I guess the ultimate game plan is gonna be like destroy the stock, reverse split it, and then like just do it all over again. Like it's gonna be like an RGSE. It's gonna be a GBO. It's gonna be an IDXG. It's going to be exactly like that. So I think it's whenever they have like a push after the reverse split or whenever they have like that one PR that hopefully brings in those chases, I think that's going to be a golden opportunity to short again. So
yeah, I'm waiting for that volume. Like when I saw the shelf, I shorted at pre-market. Didn't get a ton of size, but covered it up in the 130s.
yeah,
And now I'm just waiting for that next PR like you. I want another push, and then I'll get short again and probably swing for a little bit.
how do they get away with like a $2 billion shelf? Like
Must be the
I feel
dividends.
Yeah, I was gonna ask a similar question. Like, how many more times can they do this?
I have
Like,
no idea.
I don't know. Like, you eventually see the ones like GBSN. I think the one from a couple of years ago was NEWL or something.
Oh, of course.
Eventually, these get delisted, right?
And
Like,
free.
I just can't imagine they could pull this off more than another time or two.
Yeah, so we got to take advantage of it while it's still on the Nasdaq, while we can still destroy it. So
I think free was one of them too.
OTC.
Free.
Yeah,
Crazy.
What did Nate say? He said, "Tim, are you on the beach right now in PR?"
I want to see if that's really Nate. Yeah.
No, I'm not on the beach right now. No, in the office. In the office for this.
Where do you live, Tim?
I am down in Puerto Rico. I moved down here in November.
Really?
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
I can see why.
It's a decent incentive to get down here.
Yeah, I know.
Puerto Rico is really nice. I actually really love it down here.
I was talking to Cam about that in the Bahamas because, like, I don't really pay attention to that. And then when he told me, I was like, oh, all right. Well, that's actually not a bad option.
Yeah, the Bahamas is. I don't know if you can do it between U.S. and Bahamas. Like, I know that.
No, yeah. Because you have to be Bahamas is like a non-U.S. citizen, but like it's crazy the tax differences as far as like tax breaks. It's unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully,
yeah. I mean, Puerto Rico's cool because you keep your citizenship.
Yeah.
You're just a resident down here. Like you get back and forth on a passport.
That's crazy.
Wow, really? I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone who ever wants to visit Puerto Rico, like, please, let me know.
Because you used to live in what,
Take a trip.
Chicago or Colorado?
Originally I'm from Chicago area. I was in Colorado for the last 3 years before Puerto Rico.
Nice. See, I thought
And
about it.
Cody, you're from Arizona, right?
Yep.
So you guys both
What part
have
of Arizona?
amazing weather.
Phoenix.
I've been down to Tucson a few times.
Yeah, we're actually going there. I'm going there this weekend.
Oh,
So,
cool.
yeah, so some family down there. So should be
You guys have
should
your
be nice
sunny
trip.
weather, your amazing weather, and I have my snow
3
almost
feet of
every other
snow.
day here. It's terrible. We had like 2 feet of snow last week. Could not leave the house.
And we never had like the huge multiple feet of snow in Chicago, but we had plenty of miserable winters.
It's brutal. I cannot deal with the snow because my car does not move in snow. I'm just stuck at home. Like, I can't do anything.
Too busy looking up dries documents on the internet, huh?
Yeah, I'm too busy sending Kalani fruit baskets.
I could see that. You should actually. Have you actually sent him one?
No, me and Eric will get one big one together once they have the reverse split.
Now, what you should do with that fruit basket is you should get them all dehydrated. That way, it makes a little bit more sense for them.
Did you wind up trying to play the bounce on it? Like before they put out the filing saying they were done?
Yeah, I tried. I did. I think I was at 201. I had some shares, but then I had a hard stop at, I think it was 189, and I got stopped out, and then just got creamed. I think by the end of the day, it's like 170s, and like at that point, I was just like, "What the hell is going on?" Really, like I didn't
Yeah,
really
we
understand
were
it.
talking about it that day actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I held it into Monday, hoping the filing was going to come after hours, and it didn't. So I stopped myself out that Monday,
Yeah, yeah.
and then
I think it was
tried again, and kind of just made back what I had lost. But
Yeah, and then you
disappointing
see
with that.
they have that the Kalani deal was done. It went up to $1.90, and then like you think in the back of your head that like, okay, shorts were very prepared for like weeks, knowing that like the filing was coming out every week. Like we kind of like calculated what was left, and then the moment they had the filing, I guess all the longs like excited, like finally, like this is our time. I'm stuck from $2. I'm stuck from $3. It's finally like time to get my money back, and then like they just get wiped. They get creamed on Friday, and then Monday is the $2 billion shop, and they're just like they get destroyed.
Yeah, for a while I felt bad for some of these longs who I'm reading their tweets on Twitter, but like at a certain point, you just got to be responsible for yourself and figure out
Your
like,
money. Yeah,
you
exactly.
got to know what you know.
Yeah. Especially dries.
Yeah, especially dries.
And I mean, I don't know if it was CNBC because nobody used like this attention never was on dries for like what ever. I feel like because they had done this so often with the reverse splits and all that, but it was just that run because they reverse split it and they went from 6 to 100. I think that's the reason it got so much attention for as long as it's gotten. Because I can remember years before that, like nobody cared about dries, you know.
I had people like on Facebook like reposting or I guess sharing dry ships like articles, like news articles, like this company went up X amount of percent in whatever it is, and then like I went to like work with my dad like one of the days like it was squeezing, and one of the guys working was like, "Hey, I saw this on Facebook. Have you heard of this company?" And like it just got to the point where like every single person was just talking about it, talking about it. It got so much attention.
That's so crazy.
And then what does the logic become after that? Is it like just these people think that it's gonna go back to 100 because it did it once?
Probably.
I guess so. Or they say like if it's not going to go to 100, they'll go to 10. Or even a 5 is like it's my lotto play. I'll put 5,000 in there. I guess that's what I assume they think. They'll put 5,000 in it at like $2, and they say if it goes to 5, I'll make 100%. But in reality, like it's not going to go back to 5. So I think it's just lack of just knowing what's really going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Because it's not like a normal company. They have their 2 million offering, like whatever it was, and then they did another 200 million offering, and then a $2 billion shelf. Like it's just after a certain point, you see these trends, like I said, on Givo, on RGSC, where just any single pop, any single push is going to be sold off until the point where they're under $1 a share.
Yeah.
Like you even see today on IDXG. I think I shorted IDXG today actually at I think it was $3.20, and you could see that like after like the morning emotion, it really just didn't do much. And although it kind of came back, probably by next week, no one's gonna be talking about it. No one's gonna be caring about it. It's gonna be right back to $2.
Yeah, I missed that one today. I was watching it, but I was hoping it would spike more. And now it's gapping up a little bit, right? Like I hope we're gonna have one more push tomorrow.
Looks
I'd love
like
a
it,
redo.
yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
It's like it's
I
almost
can't
at
believe
about
I
$3.
remember that day that it went to 14 on January 3rd. I was on vacation and I was trading it and I lost money on it because I think it was trading. I think that was just right after the reverse split. They just reverse split the stock, and that was the first time they actually like had a TR and like volume and whatever. So it was on SSR that day, and I was on the beach and I had my laptop, and I was just like, I'm just so tempted to trade when I'm on vacation. It's just a stupid thing that after that experience, I'm never gonna do again. But my Wi-Fi was just terrible. Everything was just so terrible, and I shorted I think at like $6 a share, and like my Wi-Fi cut out for like a couple minutes, and it was at like $7.50 or like $8 a share, and I had to like stop out. And I was like, God damn, like I lost like I think it was I want to say like 10 grand or something, and I was just like, is it really worth it to like ruin my vacation just like by taking this one trade that I could have avoided? Like when I could just sit on the beach with my dad and just drink a mojito or something like that, and just enjoy like the privilege of being on vacation, you know? So just after that day, that like I kind of got squeezed like on the beach. I'm just like, I'm so sick of it. I'm never going to do it again. And, you know, next time I go on vacation, I'm just going to completely cut off. And I think that's the best way to do it, or else you're not really on vacation.
Dude, I don't even, because when I was on that cruise, I was like, no internet, 7 days. Like, that's the only way that I can actually take 7 days off is with no internet.
Be like forced out of it. Yeah, same thing. Like I have so much trouble detaching, and I'm supposed to be taking time off.
And
I love it so much. It's just like such an addiction. I have to know, like, my reasoning is that like I like being tuned into the market all the time, so that I'm kind of like I kind of learn something new like every day. Like the more I pay attention, the more I watch, I feel like the more I'm gonna pick up on something. So I don't want to miss that opportunity to pick up on like a little thing. So that's what kind of like keeps me stuck in the market at all times.
Yeah. With Tim,
I think I just get scared I'm gonna miss like a Fannie Mae type opportunity. I'm like,
yeah.
The next big one.
With IDXG, I remember because that thing was like 10 cents, wasn't it? And then I saw you talk. I think it was Auspex, and you said something about they have to have a $1 per share, and that got me so interested in all of his stuff. But it was amazing how they just forced that over a buck, even into two, kind of knowing that information because like you knew it before it actually happened, you know. Like you need to have $1 minimum share listing price and all those requirements for the NASDAQ listing.
Yeah, what did it do that day? Went from I think it was 50 cents, like $1.10, closed at like $1. After hours went up to $1.50.
Yeah.
Opened up, hit 2, and then like a giant, massive stop to like $1.40 or something like that, and then it's just like a slow fade off. But
yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember much about my trading of it that first time. You know, like I kind of had a similar frustrating experience the day I went to 14 after the split.
Yeah.
And kind of got my redo the next day because they had like announced that offering and it closed that day. And then
oh, did they? Oh, you know what? I think they did. Now I think I was even more pissed about that.
Yeah, I was if I remember right, I was on the beach when they announced that. And like, you know, of course I'm on the beach checking my phone. Like again, yeah,
of course. Yeah, we can't stop.
But you know, the next day I gave a morning spike, so I was able to get my short then.
Yeah. After that happened, I just threw my phone like in the room like the entire time. I was just enjoying the vacation. So I guess I needed to personally have that experience of just losing on vacation for such a stupid reason to just know not to do it again and just enjoy like that little moment of like having that time with my dad, just kind of enjoy life for that week or whatever it was.
You have to.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something I'm going to work on this year too, because I have some trips planned, and like I would love to be able to like just totally detach for at least a week.
It's nice.
Do you ever do any of you guys like ever take like a month off, just like completely cut off from trading, or like a couple weeks completely cut off, or is it like a specific time of the year that you guys do that at all, or
no?
Just like
I've never been completely cut off. I'll at the very least run a scan every night. and just make sure nothing's going too wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so hard. Again, like you said, you don't want to have that FOMO opportunity where you just
Yeah.
miss out.
I went like a month and a half without making a trade back in, I think it was 2014 maybe, 2015. I can't remember now what year it was. But still, like, yeah, even then, I was still at least checking my scanner at night.
Yeah, I remember when I was working on the house in early 2016, like I would just see like people trading, like whenever I went on my phone on Twitter, and like I just wouldn't trade. I'd be like, I felt like I was breaking out in highs because I just wouldn't be trading for that amount of time. It just drove me crazy. I love it. I love every second of it. I feel like since I found trading, like there was a part of me that was like missing, and I found like the missing piece. It's ridiculous.
I can relate. I really can. Like, I mean, did you guys have any like office work experience before getting into the market?
Like trading
Office
based?
work in what way?
Like so for example, like I was at a state farm, like working summers when I was in college, like 40 hours a week.
I used to work at Starbucks, so it was kind of like it wasn't the funnest job, but
I kind of did that too. I worked the cafe at a Barnes and Noble once also.
Yeah, I worked
yeah.
at I was a personal trainer for like 4 years. But that's when I think
Okay.
that's when I really got in the market because every day, like everybody who I trained, they were like, "Dude, are you paying attention to this market? We're gonna like everybody's freaking out." And I'm just like, "I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't care." But then I just started getting way into it right after I left. I was like, "Dude, I love this." But I played online poker like a madman until
Oh yeah,
Black
I was into that for a while.
until Black Friday, and then I was like, "Well, I guess I got to find something else to do. Let's learn trading."
What's Black Friday?
Uh, the government seized Full Tilt Poker, Poker Stars, and basically like all the four big name poker sites. Like you couldn't get on them, you couldn't access them, and people
They got
freaked
like
out because
totally shut down. Yeah.
they couldn't. They were like, "Oh my God, can't get our money out." But then there was a big Full Tilt scandal where apparently, like all the players, they would just get like the pros on there. They would just give like credits to these pros accounts, and something like I don't know, I think it was like Phil Ivey or something. I can't remember exactly. I watched it recently. It was like he owed like $14 million because they would just all they had to do was just type in, okay, he's got $1 million in this account, and they would just give it to him because he wants it. Because there was a big thing afterwards where like people would not talk to any of those full tilt pros, and they were just like shunned in the poker community completely.
Well,
Did you ever have any success with it?
Yeah,
Like, did you make money?
I did pretty good at it.
Were you? Oh man, I had some early success, I think, but I could never keep my account up. I always blew it up one way or another.
I usually was in the money was like 20% of all like because I used to do a lot of multi-table tournaments, but I'd play
Yeah, that's the best.
like 14 or 16 at a time. Uh, like that
Whoa.
was just my thing.
my God.
So I mean, it was like 8 hours of just your neck going back and forth all day long, just playing these tournaments. But I did pretty good. I mean, the day I left, actually the week I left the gym, I hadn't played in I don't even know how long, like probably like maybe 2 years. And I just sat there. I'm like, I'm free. I left because whatever. And I think I made 12 grand in like 2 weeks. I was like, oh, I'll be fine for a while, I guess. Because that was 2000,
Wow.
like 2000, early 2009, I think. Like March, right when the market was in the crapper. But I don't really play that whole lot anymore, just for fun.
Yeah, if I ever would play now, it'd be for fun, really.
Yeah, because I was telling
My brother does it. My brother does like I told Cody about it, but he does like Counter-Strike gambling. It's like such a ridiculous thing, but basically like I don't know if you played Counter-Strike, but you could like have skins like camouflages on your weapons, and those weapons like translate to real life money. So like a red camo skin or like a dragon skin is worth $200 like in the real world. So what people do is they have gambling websites where you could take your skin in the game and put it on like a roulette table, like a virtual roulette table or like a virtual coin flip, and you're just gambling away skins. And the reason why I guess it's been so successful is because since you're not technically gambling money, you're gambling like virtual images, anyone could do it. So all these like underage kids are just gambling their Counter-Strike weapon camos and just making a boatload of money. So like my brother like kind of leveraged all that and he started his own like gambling website and he's doing fine with it, but he's also getting sponsorships from other gambling websites to make YouTube videos. So they give him $1,000 in virtual skins to gamble with and make a YouTube video. Whatever he wins, he gets to keep. It's just so ridiculous.
That's
So
insane. Wow.
So there's just like so much shit out there that like no one really knows about them. Like people are killing it. Like I think he was telling me that like one of the websites that got shut down, they were bringing in like I want to say probably like $1 million in profit a month, and they were just paying out sponsorships like 20 G's like per person just to like sponsor the website because the more traffic they got, obviously, like, the more people would gamble and whatnot. So
It's crazy.
nuts, absolutely nuts.
You get
That that like is nowhere near that scale. But Cody, did you ever see like how you could go on eBay and someone would be selling like 2 million play chips for Poker Stars for
Yeah,
like
there's
$5 of real Poker Stars money?
they still do that.
They still feel like I can't believe that. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Like, why on earth would you buy play chips?
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Like, oh, now I got 20 million play chips and I spent money. Like, how dumb are you? I mean,
Yeah.
somebody either had to like win those at some point, but just I don't know. I thought that was crazy, but I saw that actually like a week ago. I don't know why I found it or how I found it, but I was like, that's really strange.
I have a question that kind of like I don't know if it relates to this all, but not really. But like, let's say you guys go like Vegas or something. Do you guys like gamble like recreationally? Like, do you do it for fun or like? Because like some of my friends like they say like, oh, you're a trader, you're a gambler, and like that's like a whole other story that I don't want to get into. But like, I sometimes gamble, but like not for the purpose of like just make money. I do it to like just have fun. So like, I feel like from a trading background, do like any of you guys like gamble like for more than fun sometimes? Like if you're out with like some friends, you actually go like hard like on the blackjack table or whatever it is, like the poker table.
I wouldn't say hard, but I'll play for fun. Yeah. The only game that I ever played like seriously for money was poker. Like in person, I would play pretty good stakes. Not anymore, but blackjack it would always just be like for fun. Not.
Yeah.
But like poker it's more of a skill game to me. So I'm like, if I have an edge of anybody, and they want to stick their money out there, it's kind of like to me trading. Like you're using your skills against other people to take their money. And it's funny that you actually said that trading is gambling, because my buddy asked me that. He's like, dude, what do you say to people that say that trading is just gambling? Well, I say, all right, do you have a 401k? Yes, whatever, if they answer yes. I'm like, do you know what you have in there? No. I'm like, all right, you're taking a bigger gamble than I am right now because you have no idea what you own.
Yeah.
Like you could own like crap and you would have no idea. Yeah. And you're paying somebody for it anyways, so it's like everybody gambles.
Or you can just say, is trading gambling? And you say, no, look at Dries. Or have you heard of Kalani? Like stuff like that. But that's just such a long conversation that they just don't care enough to like understand. They just assume that you're gambling because it's the easy answer.
Yeah,
there's such that weird double standard, like where investors don't consider themselves gamblers. Like because but mine's long term. Like I still might lose money, but mine's long term. It's not a gamble.
Yeah, I haven't sold it. I didn't actually lose anything.
The market will always go up.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
It's crazy.
But yeah, I guess for me, my background before trading, I definitely was a little more serious about gambling, like where I wanted to like really make some money from it. But since trading, it's been a lot more recreational for me too. Poker's the only one I've ever really gotten into. Yeah. And it's still mostly for fun, but of course I want to win when I'm playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
The same way.
But like blackjack, roulette, stuff like that, I don't really know what I'm doing, and I don't like playing against the house instead of other players.
Exactly.
So, I'll do it sometimes just for fun, but I won't put much money on the table.
Yeah, exactly.
I suggested to Nate a poker tournament in Vegas last year, but I don't think you actually did it.
Oh my god!
Like I thought that would be like really fun. Instead of an extra day of speakers, we should just have like a giant, poker tournament for charity. Like.
Well, that'd be so fun.
Like $500 buy-in or $100 buy-in or whatever the amount is, because that'd be fun. I don't know how you'd organize it, but I think that'd be a blast. Because then the people that lose, at least they'll have like all that time to talk to each other,
Yeah.
To mingle.
Yeah. Or you have the stubborn traders that just keep buying back in.
Yeah, definitely make it a rebuy tournament.
At least one or two, right?
Yeah.
Because I think that'd be fun because it's going to test a different mental aspect, and I think it'd be a blast. But there's an issue. I booked a cruise, and I told Cam when I was in the Bahamas, I'm like, Cam, I booked this cruise. Do you know when Traders for a Cause? He's like, we don't know yet. It's the same weekend I'm on a cruise. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do right now. I'm like,
Oh no.
to change the flights and all that, it's almost more than the cruise cost itself with the flights. I'm like, all right. But I'm like, how can I miss Vegas? It's like,
It was such a great time. I had such an amazing time last time.
yeah. I mean, like, my buddy is more excited to go because he was there last year. He's like, dude, I'm ready. I'm ready to go again, like the day afterwards.
I'm definitely
I remember the
excited for
first
this.
thing. I remember the first thing I did was I went with my friend Ryan. He was like a long-time childhood friend. The first thing we did was we went to the liquor store, bought like a 40-pack of water, a 20-pack of Red Bull, and just alcohol. And we just kept everything in the room. Every morning we chugged a couple waters, chugged a couple Red Bulls. It was a great time.
Yeah. It's like I think there needs to be one extra day. I don't know how that would fly, but
Did you guys get there on Friday or Thursday?
I got there Friday night. But I think Tim, you went to the other thing at Tom's house, right?
Yeah, I was at Tom's thing.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I landed that day or the day before. I don't remember much of Vegas from this last year. Like I was so shocked because like we had like just been down here like condo hunting and stuff and on the road for like a month and a half straight already. So like I need to go back to Vegas this year and like actually be awake. Like I need some of your Red Bull, Alex.
Yeah, come with me. We'll go get 40 waters again. We'll get 20 Red Bulls. I think I got like a 1.75 or like a 2 liter of vodka, and then that was like killed like within the first 2 days, and then we had to go get more. It's hilarious.
We gotta like mix a few 5-hour energies and Red Bulls just to be safe.
Now you're talking my language.
A little sanity in there. That's hilarious. Well, I think it's been an hour, guys. I know I have to go to the movies at 6, so
I gotta catch up on my Doctor Disrespect. I was telling
you're
Cody
what?
and Tim about it. This guy on Twitch, he
Oh.
plays H1Z1. He always like complains that like Asians are taking over the servers and that like punk kids are like killing him. It's the funniest stream in the world. Like I watch it like every day, like for an hour, and I look forward to it every day. Like kind of like gets me to like reset my mind and just like watch someone else cursing, and I kind of like learn a little bit more vocabulary from this guy.
Perfect. All right. Well, yeah, because I got a few things I got to do. But Tim, if you ever want to do it again, let us know.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
It's a blast.
Absolute pleasure.
Yeah. All right, guys. Talk to you guys later.
Talk later.
All right, see you guys.
Later.